Cabinet has agreed that all of New Zealand beyond the boundaries to the north and south of Auckland will move to level 2 at 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, the 7th of September. Schools and other education providers will be given the next 48 hours to prepare to reopen from Thursday morning. As we have today, Cabinet will review the levels for the whole country, including Auckland, at a Cabinet meeting next Monday, 13 September, and announce any changes that same day. These changes mean we'll have one part of the country at level 4 and the rest at level 2. For the most part, that is workable with the hard boundaries we've set up, but it does pose challenges, particularly for Northland, who essentially become cut off from the rest of the country. I want to assure Northland that we are working through those issues. There will be the ability for people to travel through Auckland if someone in Northland, for instance, needs to get to the Waikato for their work. People will need to travel directly without stopping while going through Auckland. You'll also need to carry evidence of the purpose of travel and the location where you are travelling to. The ability to keep moving down levels across so much of New Zealand is testament to everybody's hard work, but it doesn't mean we're out of the woods. To account for Delta, level 2 will be different to how it's been before. As I've said many times, Delta has changed the game, so in order to beat it, we've had to adapt our game plan too. I want to recap on some of the changes we've made because of Delta that will mean level 2 is different than what everyone may recall. This is Delta level 2. Face coverings are now mandatory at alert level 2 whenever you're inside most public venues. So if you're entering a retail shop or an indoor facility like a mall or a library, you must wear a mask. However, of course, you can take your mask off in hospitality venues like restaurants, bars and cafes so that, of course, you can eat and drink. Staff at these venues, though, and at any other public-facing businesses open at level 2 must wear face coverings as well. But to keep it really simple, if you're out and about and visiting indoor venues, please wear a mask. We've learnt the hard way that Delta is at least twice as transmissible as previous strains of the virus and that it travels essentially through the air rather than via droplets or contact. That is why wearing masks is so important and our new normal at level 2. We also have some new rules on scanning, and these have been shared previously, but I want to speak to them again. We want people scanning everywhere they go, but there are some places this isn't just an ask, it's now a rule. This includes bars, restaurants, cinemas, nightclubs, concerts, churches, and close contact businesses like hairdressers. That's where you either have to scan or there has to be record keeping. Essentially, places where there is close contact between people, where it's harder to wear a mask and where the virus can easily spread. It also means that if you're at places like private events, there must be a record kept of people attending. But even in places you are not legally required to scan in, my advice is, of course, do it anyway. What we've learned is that traditional contact tracing can't keep up with Delta. The virus is too fast. So record keeping and scanning continues to be our best tools to quickly track down any potential spread of COVID and keep us out of lockdown. It's also one of the best means we have of reducing the time we need to spend in lockdown. So again, please scan in. Mask wearing and scanning are rule changes we've made in advance of this latest outbreak, but this will be the first time that they've been put in place. At the same time, though, there are other things we've recently learnt about Delta that have caused us to take another look at the alert level 2 settings and ask if there's anything more we need to change. The biggest issue is this. Because Delta is more transmissible, we're much more worried about big groups of people. It's now no longer just whether you have enough space between you and others, but rather if you have too many people in a shared space generally with poor ventilation, that really ups the risk. That's why today I'm sharing 2 additional changes to level 2. The first is a limit of 50 people for indoor gatherings, hospitality settings and event venues. This, coupled with the rules around customers being seated and tables being separated, reduces down the risk of super spreader events. If you're an outdoor venue or you have an outdoor space, you can have up to 100 people in that space, keeping in mind again the rules around being seated and separated. That's because ventilation makes such a huge difference to how infectious a COVID case is to others. And a reminder again that all gatherings must record attendees to help with contact tracing. The second change relates to indoor public facilities like gyms, museums and libraries. Previously, these venues have had no hard limit on how many people are allowed to be in a space, but instead, a 1 metre distancing rule is a proxy for how many people could be inside. We're now bringing these venues into alignment with the rules that exist for retail and supermarkets, which is 2 metres. That again will just mean we have fewer people in a venue, with the number being dependent on the size of that venue. It's a quick alignment that we think in a Delta environment makes good sense. So a quick summary: wear a mask, scan everywhere you go, and be mindful that when you visit some places, they will have rules around how many people can be inside at any given time. Be patient, be kind, and support local. These are tough times. Moving to level 2 is progress, though, and it is positive, but it comes with a warning. We've done so well to get this outbreak under control. Level 4 restrictions are working, but the job is not done. We're within sight of elimination, but we cannot drop the ball. For the full details of the new level 2 settings, Delta 2, visit covid19.govt.nz.